Hi there, and welcome everybody to Side Hustle Success. Thanks again for coming once again to hear another one of my amazing guests who is doing it all. Yeah, she is working a full time job and has a passion on the side. And we're going to get into this in just a little bit. I'm going to introduce my guest, Meechelle Parker. I do encourage you to connect with her on LinkedIn. You know, you're going to hear her amazing story. And so she's going to share some information about what she does here at the end. But just to kind of get things set up, for those of you who may be new to me, my name is Adeniki McKinday, and I'm a business and a confidence coach. And I help you. You're a corporate professional out there, right? And you're ambitious, you're hardworking, you give it your all, but you got a lot of skills. And sometimes your full time job just doesn't allow you to fully utilize all your skills in that role. Or maybe you're looking at the economy, you're looking at the things that are happening out here in the world. And listen, I'm not a fear monger by any stretch of the imagination, but I believe in, preparing yourself, right? Being as secure as you can. And so you realize that one paycheck, one job is not job security anymore. You've got to have some options, some income options. And so you've been thinking about a side hustle. I'm here to let you know that it absolutely can be done. You can do work that you love, have options for income, options for more freedom. And I love to bring on guests who are doing it successfully. So at the end, we'll drop some information about how you can learn more about that. And like I said, Meechelle will be sharing a little bit more about her enterprise. But we're going to go ahead and jump in. And I'm going to have Meechelle, if you could just start out by, again, just giving us a little bit about yourself. Again, I know the name of your organization is My Heart Enterprises. And basically, you are if I remember this correctly, a fitness and finance coach, which is, two very, very much needed, things in the world, fitness and a finance coach, and helping people kind of take that joy-filled journey to get those things in order. So please share a little bit with us about who you are, and we'll jump right into this conversation, as I like to call it.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Adeniki. First and foremost, thank you for the invite to participate. What a
Of course.
wonderful platform it is to be able to showcase individuals that are doing it all, like you
Yep.
said. And I'm excited to be here and to share and help someone along their journey and their path. Hopefully, I'm sure someone will be impacted today by what
Absolutely.
both of us are sharing at Anikki. So for me, my heart enterprise, I don't, I guess I'll start here, is a passion of mine.
Okay.
It's something I'm bridging two passions of my heart together
Mhm.
into one coaching opportunity, fitness and financial. So
Nice.
we're on a mission to help individuals transform their lives through the joy filled um, journey of fitness and financial coaching, I like to
Yes.
say. So we are helping individuals both in their physical being
Right.
as well as in their financial being. These are two things that I've focused on my own life. And for many, many years prior to starting this, my Heart enterprise in 2020, I was working with individuals in various realms of their fitness as
Yeah.
well as their finances, and particularly family members.
Okay.
And I decided to become a Zumba instructor back around 2008 because I loved my Zumba classes that I would attend at LA Fitness, and just connected with the instructor really well. And she's like, why don't you do this? You're so great. And I was like, okay. So I ended up becoming a Zumba instructor back then, and loved working out. The financial piece has always been an interest of mine. I've gone through the Dave Ramsey financial classes, courses through my church, and just really stayed abreast of what's happening in the financial world. And so 2020 hit,
Yes.
pandemic, you
Yep.
know, and I was working my full-time job and I wanted to continue working out first and foremost.
Right.
And that was not possible. LA Fitness was closed.
Yes.
I love Zumba, but I was still going. I actually was not teaching a Zumba class on my own
Yeah.
at that point. I had stopped doing that. And I was like, oh my, what am I going to do? So I decided to use the world of virtual.
Yes,
That was,
yes.
and I was like, let's do virtual Zumba classes. And
Come on
let me
now.
just throw it out there, invite some people to join me. And of course, I didn't have many people at the beginning. It was me and my 4-year-old niece at the time.
I love it.
She
That's
was in
right.
Illinois, I was in Indiana, and she was joining me every Saturday
That's awesome.
morning, and we would do Zumba together. On occasion, other family and friends will pop in or what have you. And so that's how I continued to work out. During that same time frame, actually, I was completing my financial work with Dave Ramsey too. So
Okay.
I was getting certified with that. And so it was 2020, towards the mid to the end of the year, that I was like, you know what? I'm going to trust God.
That's
I'm
right.
going to do what I was supposed to do years ago. And I decided to develop My Heart Enterprise, which I had gotten the name many, many years prior to that. Um, and it was just time. It was the right
Yeah.
time. The virtual space was so convenient.
Yes.
I had an opportunity at actually my full-time job. They
Hmm.
did a conference in September of that year, and they knew I was doing Zumba virtually. And so they invited me to do a
Come
class
on now.
at the conference. And
That's
that
awesome.
is when things just really started opening up.
Come
To
on
be
now.
able
Talk
to
about
do
encouragement.
Yes. You never know. My full-time gig ended up inviting me, and I wasn't trying to promote myself or anything like that. But they
Mhm.
invited me and said, hey, we want you to do this for us. And that just opened up so many more doors. And
Absolutely.
2021 is I formally launched, and it's been going strong ever since. So
Oh my
much more to
goodness.
share, but I want to pause.
No, no, no. That like I said, I have a ton of threads that I want to follow here. I'm not going to be able to probably go to them all, but I mean, I love what you said there. It's one of those things like your gifts will make room for you. You got started. Listen, there's so many people who are waiting for the right time, the perfect timing, the right amount of people, to have their website set up. But you said, listen, when things shut down and you knew, hey, I've got to continue on with my fitness. Your 4-year old niece, only one showing up, but you showed up still. And so I do want to go back to your full-time job after this question and talk a little bit about what you do there and kind of, talk a little bit more about kind of why you decided to do something even on the side of the full-time job. But I really want to explore this piece about just getting started. When you have a passion for something, getting started and not waiting for all the stars, as it were, to be aligned. Can you just talk a little bit about the mindset that it takes to just continue to show up every Saturday, even if it's, to your point, she's important, but some people might feel like, hey, well, I need more than just my little one showing
Yeah,
up every Saturday. So can you talk a little bit about that?
absolutely, Adeniki. It is definitely was a journey. And I would say, like I mentioned, like it was something that took time for me to even act on.
Yes.
Like I mentioned, the name and actually the idea of My Heart Enterprise was birthed in my heart several years prior to that, around 2016, to be honest. But I wasn't ready, I guess. I didn't know what to do. I was like, okay, I'm still working this full-time job. And, I got, actually, I had another side gig hustle that I was doing as well. And it was just the pandemic just led me into a world of, I was able to just stop,
Mm-hmm.
which I know many people, and really see, okay, what am I passionate about?
Mm-hmm.
And what does God want to do through me in this
Right.
particular time in my life? And so it was that getting started, just really, sometimes it takes those baby steps.
Yeah.
It was those baby steps. It was just like, okay, let's use this virtual space. Let's invite the family, whatever it may be. It's just talking about what you're doing. It's not
Yes.
sometimes just opening your mouth. It's just, hey, they were free. Zoom was free for the first 45 minutes. And so using free services and just growing from there, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
So for my mental ability to continue on, I say passion was there. I was
Yes.
passionate about what I was doing. So mentally, I had to be passionate. I had to
Yep.
be doing something that I knew would make an impact for someone else. I'm passionate about dance for myself too and working out because I know what working out does for me mentally
Right.
and my mental health and getting those endorphins working in me. And I didn't want to go down a path where I didn't have the tool of exercise for my mental capacity. I knew that was something that I needed. And so passion. It also was perseverance, like you mentioned. You know, I love my niece, and working out with her was so much fun. But it's like, okay, let's what impact am I making? And truly, this ties into another piece that I will talk to as far as mental is people. And allow your passion to be focused on people,
Hmm.
what you can do and what you believe your service or your product can do for the people. And it wasn't about me. And so that perseverance, that need to persevere, I call them the 3 P's: passion, perseverance, and people, were so key for me in really staying in that mental place where I'm not giving up on this. And to this day, I'm not giving up on this because of the doors, because of the impact that My Heart Enterprise has made, particularly in the fitness realm. I'll focus
Hmm.
there because I'm still growing the financial realm.
Right, right.
Fitness, the fitness part has really taken off with ladies that I've been working with through Zumba, through one-on-one coaching, all of that, and hearing the impact that just having these virtual outlets for them has made on their physical health as well as their mental health has been phenomenal. And that has allowed me being able to hear that people are being impacted to persevere, keep going,
Yes.
and to get started and to keep going. Yeah, to keep going and keep growing what I'm doing. So,
That's awesome. Like I said, you dropped so many gems there that I literally just started typing it in the chat. So for those of you who are
oh,
out there and you're joining us, what you see in the chat, these are the takeaways. For those of you who are thinking about, hey, I have a full time job, and you have these questions that come up. Michelle's being very transparent and honest here about, I put it off for so many years, and finally I just started, and perseverance, and use the free stuff is that's out there, and really get your mind off of you, because a lot of times you're right. It's like, I'm not ready. How do I start? When in fact, if we think about the people that are out there that need our services, how it's going to impact and uplift them and really enhance their lives, it makes it a lot easier to say, well, I need to do this because people are out here waiting for me. So all of those takeaways, I'm putting it in the chat for people coming in so that you can take note of those things. And please, as questions come up for you, if you're out there and you're listening, as questions come out there for you, please drop those in the chat and I will pick those up, and we will definitely take those as they come in. But Meechelle, I did want to go back to your full-time job. I love what you said about that. First of all, you were telling people about your passion, about the things that you wanted to do. They knew about it. And so that obviously opened a door there. But, talk to us a little bit about, when you're in your full-time job, you know, and I know, like I said, it's one of those things where you've always kind of had probably a side hustle. But what made this different to where you're saying, yes, I have my full time job, but I'm actually going to go all in and like actually create a business and actually go out and really make this more of mine, as maybe opposed to just maybe an income source. Why did you, in having that full time job, how did you decide I'm going to take the time to actually do this, despite the fact that it's going to be extra work outside of a full-time job? What was that decision process like for you?
oh wow. So for me, um, in my full time job and what I was actually doing at that particular time, um, it was kind of a fit per se. I like to say
Okay.
because I was working with women business owners.
Yes.
through a nonprofit organization that supports women through certification and training and things of that sort. So it was, you know, I was in the realm for all these years and many, many
Yeah.
years, and it was like I'm getting all the tools that I need through
Right.
the
At your
training,
fingertips.
right, and hearing the stories of the women. So I'm getting motivated as well and encouraged. And I've always been, um, prior to developing my heart enterprise, and always I'll share what my previous side hustle has been is
Yeah.
Mary Kay.
Yeah.
And in the Mary Kay realm, it's just encouraging women to
Yeah.
grow, and that's been my space that I've been in. And so why not take what I believe I need to do and grow it and
Yeah.
develop it? I'm kind of pouring out for others in my full-time
Mhm.
job. Let's pour in and
Yes.
what needs to be done. So I think we do that as women. We're giving for these full-time jobs, and we're seeing them successful because of the work that we're putting in. And what are we doing for our own lives, for our own
Come
family?
on now.
Yes, yes, it's helping to bring home the bacon and the bread, what have you.
Right.
Are we truly passionate about what we're doing? I had to, and I was, I'm still am, and I'll move into what I'm doing currently for my full-time job because things have changed, shifted. So I'm like all over the place. I feel like sometimes,
You just
but
growing.
no, yes, I'm growing. That's exactly it, Adeniki, is making the room to grow in your skill. As you mentioned in early part when you were introducing this segment, we have to hone in and want to grow our skills, our gifts, that we have inside of us, and not we can't always do that in our 9 to 5 jobs.
Right.
And there's a deeper passion. There's more calling inside of us, and,
Yeah.
and that could be through the gifts and the skills that God has placed into each of us. And are we fulfilling that? And so it was for me. It was a process of deciding in my mind and in my heart, no pun intended,
Yes.
um, what direction did I want to take at this point?
Yeah.
Okay, things are shutting down. What do I want to do?
Yeah.
What do I want to press play for my life, um,
I love that.
to
I
move
love
forward
that.
in? And I believe that um, what we are meant to do, if we take those steps,
Mm-hmm.
baby steps if need be,
Yep.
those doors and those opportunities, the people will come, the things will start happening. You will start seeing and reaping, and it's not always easy, absolutely.
Right.
And it takes time, and it takes
Yes.
dedication and perseverance, as mentioned. And
Yep.
it takes carving out that time, especially if you're working that 9 to 5, and you have, I'm sure, family,
Yes.
children, spouses, whatever, significant others. It's like you
Yeah.
have to be dedicated on and prioritize things
Yes.
to really get what you need done. And I know it can be overwhelming.
Yes.
I've not been blessed with children just yet, so that's a whole nother undertaking. I can tell with
Right.
my nieces and my nephews, and my
Right.
to be able to incorporate. But I know with me, it's making the time, uh,
Mm-hmm.
even when I'm tired in the
Yep.
evening, even when I don't feel like working out,
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like dealing with nobody else after a hard day at work. It's still persevering through
Yeah.
that and going forward.
Yeah.
Um, I'll pause there, and then I do want to. At one point, I want to share what I'm currently doing, but
Of
I'll.
course. Of course. Well, and I just wanted to, you talked about, like I said, in all of these interviews, the one thing I am, it always comes out. I don't even have to, it's nothing I have to prompt, but anybody who's doing anything in their own business, yes, deep passion for it. Yes. We know that this is something that's serving other people, and we're excited about this opportunity, but there, without question, it is, there's hard work involved. We're not trying to tell anybody that getting into this is, as easy as, hey, 3 months, you're going to be making 6 figures and sitting on the beach. I know there's a lot of marketing out there that really makes it seem, that simple, but there is hard work involved in this. But I think what you said is key. when you have that deep passion, that passion that just every morning when you wake up, it never goes away. And for years, it's there and you know it's there. That's what makes it possible. And that's why it's so important when you're thinking about, whether it's a side hustle or going into it, even as a main hustle, you have to have, a passion and really a true understanding of the fact that you're serving other people, because that's what's going to push you through the hard places. If it's just about money, then you're probably not going to be able to push through. I mean, to your point, when you come home from a hard day, and especially if you have a family, you're like, why am I doing this? What is the purpose? Unless you understand there's a higher purpose, and like I said, you have that God-given passion that's, keep bringing you back to it, it's going to be hard to sustain. And so I'm so glad that you touched on that. And even though you don't yet, have children, and, I did want to talk a little bit about that prioritization part, because it does take some time management skills and prioritization skills, because you still have a life. What are some of your tips for prioritizing the side hustle when you do, like I said, after a long day that you've had, at your full-time role?
That's been a challenge, to be honest. Um, I would say definitely at the beginning of things, of course, it was convenient because we were shut down, right?
Right, right.
So it was not much to do. But I did make time to work on developing my business plan
Yep.
and websites, and thinking through
Right.
things, and marketing and all of that during my evening hours or weekends. But it took also letting, because at the same time I was blessed to be able to, now my fiance, meet him right before, right?
Oh my God!
Well, you didn't know that? I'm sorry.
Out of me. Listen, this interview isn't about that, but I know Meechelle, and she's just telling me about this. Oh my God. So congratulations,
Thank
across
you.
YouTube, Facebook,
Yes.
and LinkedIn, my friend. Oh wow, that is so exciting.
I apologize. I didn't tell you, girl. This has been a while too. So I met him right before the pandemic. And so during the pandemic, that was my pandemic buddy. We got to know
Yes.
each other during that time, which was amazing. But in that, it was like I had to communicate and say, hey, I got this time to do, you do something else. You go
Right,
you
right.
do your Madden game or whatever you playing, or focus over there, and I need to focus on here. But
Gotcha.
that's another piece I want to bring up, because that was key for me, is your support system. If you can
Mm,
get a support system to
yes,
help you, to encourage you, to bounce ideas off of,
yes,
um, a tribe, your spouse, significant, your girlfriend, a mentor, really help keep you on track. That's key. That was key for me,
yes,
because I was held accountable. Accountability is key, because of course when you're working full time and you have all this other stuff, you can just allow side hustles and things to fall off. And I
yep,
don't do that no more. It's not immediate gratification or what have
right,
you, with the money or what have you, or clientele. But
right,
when you have people asking, oh, so what's going on with this, or supporting you in that, it does hold you accountable. And if
yes,
you're like me, you want to be able to say, oh, I'm doing this and that. And so um, that passion was there to
yes,
get started and to move things along. That accountability was there. Those people I connected with were there. So I would say all of those were really significant in my really getting started and really staying on course, and making my side hustle a priority.
a
Um,
priority.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that's so key, because you're right. I mean, honestly, there are so many things that can draw you out. And like I said, when you think of the work involved, you're like, oh, I can let it slide today. But no, if you have a good support system to say, hey, what's going on with that? Then, that's beautiful. Someone to keep pushing you up, because often you will hear, that when people really start to step out, unfortunately, it can sometimes be the people that we love the most that can actually, and again, they mean well, but they're, like, well, why do you want to do that? You already have a good job, and
Mhm.
sometimes they can throw really some negativity in the mix,
Yeah,
that can really be a drain on you. So you really have to know that you have a strong support system
absolutely.
somewhere when you start to make this this journey, because like I said, people, I don't believe, they don't mean any harm, but they just be randomly throwing shots out, and you're really trying to get this thing up and going and pushing forward. So you kind of fight against the current sometimes.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. And
yeah.
I know joyfully coaching can be there for anyone to help to keep that fire going, right, girl?
Well, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say this. I really love that you brought up My Heart Enterprises and Joyfully Coaching, because again, those names mean something. When you sat down, you said you had already gotten the name so many years ago. You kind of knew what the passion was going to be about. It was going to be about, your heart was to help people in these areas. And the same for me. It's like these are not random names. And so I
Absolutely.
want people, you be thinking about the thing that is impressing upon you most. I mean, I was literally reading a scripture, and I knew it had to be joyfully. I knew it had to be joyfully. That something with joyfully, and I was reading the scripture, and it literally jumped out at me, that joyfully, was, and then I was gonna add coaching in there somewhere, and so that is my brand. Is really, I'm looking to help people have fullness of joy fully in the work that they do, and so that's what it's about. And so I would encourage you to think about the thing that really is impressing upon your heart when you're thinking about, what is the work you want to do? What is it that you want to see increase in the world? Some positive thing increase in the world. Think about the audience you want to serve and how you want to help them, grow and become better. And what is the word that would capture that? And when you capture that, then, like I said, you're on your way. You're on your way. So I love that,
Can I
Meechelle.
comment on that?
Of
That's
course
so
you
good.
may.
That is so good. Just thinking through what you just shared in my I think that is so important. The names have power, and
Yeah.
that was a driving force too. Is like I mentioned, 2016. It was actually February 14th, 2016 that I got the name
Wow.
My Heart Enterprise. I was in this space of really, just seeking God, and it was it just poured into my heart
Wow.
enterprise, because and it was going to be many different facets that were drawn, my heart was drawn to,
Gotcha.
were going to be a business of some sort. And I was just, it was really a revelation and an aha moment for me in
Yeah.
that moment, because I was very single and spending a very lonely Valentine's Day. Not really, I was in my own space, but
Yeah.
it was a different time for me back then, and that was
Yeah.
like such a highlight. I
Yeah.
remember that exact same day getting that name and not knowing exactly what it was to transform. I knew it was a business name, but I was like,
Yes.
what to do after that? But the name stuck with me. It stuck with
Mm.
me. And to this day, it is part of the driving force behind my business, because I say my heart enterprise is like, yes, this is my
Yeah.
heart. And we do all this all the time before we
Yeah.
leave a class. And, just really lifting and loving on individuals.
Yeah.
We say we love the whole you to health and wealth. That's
Ah,
our
I
tagline.
love that. I
Loving
love it. We
something that
love you. Can you say that again? I need to put that in here.
loving the whole you to health and wealth.
Loving the whole you to health and wealth. Oh wow. That is tweetable, retweetable, as they say.
Yeah, tweet that, y'all.
I'm
I
going to
love
show
it.
that one.
Tag.
I'm going to actually show that one. Loving the whole you to health and wealth. I love that, Meechelle. And I'm just going to say that because, like I said, I love these conversations because that's what they are. For those of you who are listening, these are conversations. They're not scripted. I mean, we have a few questions that we throw out there that we're going to play with, but this has literally just been a free flowing conversation. And I know that whoever's out there, you're going to get what you're meant to get out of this. But I just noted that you said when, that season that you had, with God, where that kind of dropped in your heart. And then as you pursued, and you said you were, extremely single. I love that, extremely single back then. But as you began to just pursue the thing that was going to be a blessing to the world, look how things, I can't help but wonder if, like, the manifestation of, the fiance and all those things, and maybe even the new jobs, all of these things begin to come into place to now, complete the picture for you. And so I just throw that out there, because sometimes we're waiting for something, when in fact, if we would just do the thing that we were given to do, that God put on our heart, all the things that we're waiting for will just show up for us, right? They'll kind of come alongside.
Absolutely. You better preach that over. Yes, that is. Oh, you hit it on the nail. I think because of sometimes our obedience in just one thing, you can open up God's, like, boom, boom,
Yes.
boom. Many, many doors can open up by you just saying yes to just the steps in His process.
Yeah. Oh,
So I
so
love that you mentioned that. But yes, definitely that this has been a wonderful couple of years for my life, and the
yeah.
growth that I've experienced on so many different levels has been none of my own. It took that yes, it took those
Mhm.
steps, it took belief,
Yeah.
and believing in what I was. And even my current full-time job is a blessing.
Oh my goodness. Well,
Um,
let's definitely talk about that, because
yes.
again, yeah, I know, you were sharing that, you now have this new role. Definitely tell us a little bit about your new role and kind of how all that plays into, it plays into this. We'd love to kind of hear a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. So I'm just one. I want a full-time job for whatever reason
Yeah.
until otherwise. I want a
Yeah.
full-time job. And I knew my previous role, I knew that you know, certain times it's time to move on. And I
Yes.
knew it was time, and what that looked like, I didn't know exactly. But I heard of a position at a local utility here in Indianapolis. And I decided to apply, I decided to apply,
Yeah.
and lo and behold, I got it. So I am a supplier diversity manager for Citizens Energy Group.
Mhm.
And basically, Citizens, if you're not familiar, it's a local utilities here in central Indiana, providing natural gas, water, wastewater, thermal
Yep.
energy for central Indianapolis, hundreds, thousands and thousands of businesses and residents. Um, and in my role, I'm blessed to be able to be impact communities
Mm.
by advocating for minority, women, and veteran-owned
Nice.
businesses internally here, providing them opportunities to become strategic partners of citizens to
Okay.
grow their businesses with citizens. And so I
Nice.
love this space that I'm into in my full-time job. It's a lot of work. I've been here for over a year now. So back
Okay.
in 2021, August of 2021, I joined the Citizens. I left my previous role in July, joined Citizens in August, and it's been, a great journey, a learning journey as well. But I've continued to grow my side hustle still.
Yeah.
Even, in my new role, I
I
haven't given
love
up.
it.
I've grown the number of classes I do.
Come on now.
I just and yeah, there's some days where I'm on a Tuesday, I want to just come home and just be, but I get on that
Yeah.
virtual Zumba class with
Yes.
my ladies from Illinois and Michigan. That's
Yeah.
another thing, if you can, take your business virtual.
Absolutely.
If you can, yeah. I would
Yep.
love to do it in person eventually, but the virtual space, because most of my clients are out of state.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm serving them in that capacity. But yeah, I still
Absolutely.
jump on and work out, and I love it. I love it.
I love it too. I love it too. Well, oh my God, like I said, this interview could literally probably go, a whole hour, but I know we got to wrap it up here. And so for a last question, I always just like to ask, for those of again who are on the fence, And again, let me just be clear about this. What we're saying here is this is for people who are working full-time jobs and want to stay in their full-time jobs, but they see the value in a side hustle. They see the value in having a business that's time leveraged, something that, again, we're not talking about going out and getting a second job at Wendy's or where you're trading a bunch more time for money, but something that where you do have a passion, you're serving people that you really have a heart for. You feel like these people have actually, God put these people in your heart and you're supposed to be serving them. And you want a way to do this and make money, serve the people, serve your family, obviously with income. And so we're talking about ways you can do that. So what is the number one piece of advice, Meechelle, that you would give to someone who's on the fence, who, they desire to do a side hustle, but, they're just not sure, okay, I just need something. I need an inspiration. I need something that's going to tell me, yes, this is the decision I need to make. Number one piece of advice for a person who's on the fence but really wants to do it.
Oh. Okay, so my number one piece of advice for you, I don't want to sound cliche-ish, but just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it, girl, guy out there. Just do it. Just launch out there. Don't give up, on your dreams, on your vision. Mm-hmm. I know I hope we each have a vision for our lives, a greater purpose. Mm-hmm. But just really do it, pursue it, no matter what, and really just do it and don't give up on it. And I mean that's really what's gonna get the ball rolling and hopefully help keep it rolling, because I think definitely there's people out there that need you, that need your service, mm-hmm. that you or product that you have, need the gifts that you have, need the time. I didn't realize that for me, individuals, I'll just be very transparent real quick. Sorry, I don't know
of course
how much time, but I back in mid 2015, 2016, around that time, I was going through some depression. Mm-hmm. And one of the key elements that I needed to make sure was working out, exercise.
Right.
Those endorphins and all of that was important for my mental health, as I mentioned earlier. Right. I didn't realize how many women would come to me once I started My Heart Enterprise and said that they were going through depression, and My Heart Enterprise has helped them to mm-hmm. not to find joy,
right,
to find that peace,
right,
through our times together, that they needed. You don't know what you've been called to do, the impact it can have on others in ways that you just never thought it would impact. So,
oh wow, no, thank you for sharing that. And I mean, I think that it's so important. And again, that's why I do these interviews, is so that we can tell people, listen, all of us are human. All of us struggle with one thing or another, whatever that is. And when we share, hey, this is how I was able to overcome that, you're helping other people, And so, no, thank you so much for sharing that, because you're absolutely right. It's like you never know who you're going to lift up in just and just by being obedient and following what's been put in your heart. So thank you so much. So now, of course, definitely, please share with the people, again, how they can get a hold of you. I have your website here, and I'm going to drop that in the chat for people to grab. But again, for someone, what would the ideal client that you serve and that comes to you, tell us a little bit about who that is. Sure. And then I'm going to drop in the chat how they can get a hold of you.
Sure. So anyone who is looking to find that joy-filled journey of fitness and financial. So we offer, through our fitness, we offer Zumba classes, some group instruction classes. We do one-on-one coaching. And the financial side, we support and help with budgets, developing budgets, yes. Paying debt off, all of those critical things that we want to do with our finances, yep. and financially sound. So if you're an individual that would like support, coaching, someone to come alongside you to help you with your goals. We don't give you the goals, I like to say. We want you to define what is your goal in this space, in this area. What do you want to achieve? And I come alongside, and my team, we come alongside to you. I say a team because I'm really believing it's going to grow. So I got
That's
to put it
right.
out there.
That's right. Come
You
on
gotta
now.
make yourself bigger than you really are. But it's
That's
just
exactly right. You got to declare it, put
my
it out there.
my fiance, he also is in this space of helping and
Mhm.
helping individuals with their workouts and things of that sort. He's a also yes. So but yes, we would come alongside you to support you and help develop you eating right, all of that. We
All of that.
support. So
I love it. I
so
love it.
visit
Like I
us
said,
at My Heart Enterprise.
my heart enterprise.
Check us out.
Nice.
First Zumba class is free, so come
First,
on through.
come on
Come
now.
on
She's
through.
going to get you right on all aspects. Because how many of you know that, when your health is right, when your finances right, I mean, a lot of other stuff just automatically gets right.
It does, girl. I say amen to that.
Come on now. I love it. We're having a great time. Well, I definitely encourage you. When you watch this, you're going to be amazed. You're going to be uplifted. You're going to be encouraged. Please, for fitness and finance coaching. And again, I love that those go together. A lot of people do these things separately, but again, I feel like it's so amazing that these things go together. Please check out My Heart Enterprises. And for those of you who may, again, you might be at that crossroads where you're like, I would love to do this, but I really just need help with how. I'm not even sure. Maybe you haven't gotten your idea yet and you don't know where to start and how to start. That is my specialty, actually helping you drill down to what is that passion that is not only going to be super passionate and exciting for you, but that's also going to serve people in a really impactful way, and then helping you put together your business in a simple way, again, that's going to allow you to feel really, really good that you have it up and going, and you're going to be ready to serve people without all the stress attached with trying to figure out all the nuts and bolts of a business. So if you feel like you need that type of support, I do encourage you to check me out. I do have a page that I want to share with you, where you can actually come to a webinar that I offer called How to Start Your First Four-Figure Side Hustle. And I just go through some of the steps for that, and that's absolutely free. You can just come and learn a little bit and ask some questions on that. So we're here to serve. We're here to serve, but we have taken those steps, and so like I said, we've already stepped out there, and we're looking back and reaching back to kind of help others do the same. So Meechelle, again, I appreciate you so much for coming on today and sharing. That was amazing. I'm looking forward to many more collaborations and looking forward to us seeing the growth of these businesses. We're out here, you're out here doing. And so again, feel free to connect with any of us, each of us on LinkedIn. If Go to My Heart Enterprises again for more information about how to connect with Meechelle, and just be on the lookout for the next interview where we're just going to keep bringing these side hustle success stories and show you that you can, in fact, have it all, have that full-time job, but also have that side hustle that really is going to be super fulfilling in so many different ways. So thank you so much for joining us today. Any last minute comments, Meechelle?
Oh, this has been fabulous. I've enjoyed being on here with you, Nikki, as always. It's a pleasure. And I hope someone out there reaches out to you to get that support that they need to really launch out. And thank you for letting me be a part of today's events.
Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, guys. Well, we will see you. We will see you on the next Side Hustle Success Story.
Yes,
But stay encouraged. Take
yes,
care.
yes. You can do it.
You can do it. Bye, everyone.
Right. Bye.